Hey guys, this is me again. This is the part 4 of our tutorial. So I was explaining to you how to parse the grandchild up. This is the parent, and then basically we need to get these properties right here is basically a child element of the entry. But we are not interested in properties, but we are interested in the child of the properties. So that's why to find those information out, I have get sub element content value method that will take the items and the parent element name, which is properties, and these are is a grandchild element. So kind of like address, rating, release year, URL, runtime, all those things is needed. So let me go ahead and explain to you how this method works. Very simple, exactly the same idea as the other one, but get sub element content value, because this is the item and I'm just like before, I'm saying, hey, you were defined variables, and I'm saying, hey, do you support these properties? And I can call this, making sure this element is inside of you. If it is, and that's for the parent, and I have to do the same thing for the child element, right? And then that's what I'm doing. Basically, this would give me the parent elements, and I go into the parent. Hey, do you have these child elements? If you have, you know what? I need the data inside the inner text. If you have, just give me. Otherwise, just return me empty string. Like if that condition is true, I'll get the inner text from the grandchild. Otherwise, I'm bummed. I have empty string, nothing there. Okay, that is what it was doing basically. And then remember, like for some reason the Odata was giving me the time in a second, so I had to parse that basically into hours. So to do that, I just define inline function and some logic, very simple logic, divided by 36 because I have to get hours and stuff like that. Okay, so this will return this. Remember, I already mentioned this pattern, so I'm gonna explain to you this time. This is same thing, is getting the rating, and this guy is same thing, getting the description, synopsis. Okay, and finally, while reading that Odata RSS feed, Odata XML provided by Netflix, because I wanted to show this image right here, these images. But however, what they have done is, image is not really an element, but it is an attribute of an element called content. So I need to basically now grab the attribute of that XML element. So to do that, I wrote another method called get attribute value. This is the item, and this is the element name, and this is the src is the attribute. Basically, I'm looking for the value stored in this src attribute. Let's go ahead and look at that method. So this is exactly the same as first line is the exact same. Item is there. Do you have this property? If I can call you with the given property, that means it's all good. And then I'm going to say, okay, query selector by the property name. Once that guy is good, I'm going to say, hey, give me your attribute. What attribute I'm looking for? Hey, I will pass you. This is the attribute I'm looking for. Well, this is my attribute. Based on that, give me the value for that attribute, which is basically going to return me the src. That is that. Okay. Okay. So, like we are good so far. If we have come here so far, we have a bunch of data coming in, and then I remember, like, I need to know about the movies. If the movie do not have any title, I don't need to know about that movie. Assuming the movie has a title and movie have some description about what it's about, and this is actually, I'm going to go ahead and get rid, because I don't need updated date, because that's the basically this piece of data is valuable only to the provider, in this case Netflix, so I don't have that much need of it. So I'm just going to say, if there is a title and there is a summary and there is an image, I'm interested. Okay. And then I'm going to define this object here, JavaScript, JavaScript literal object called Netflix item. So, and then I'm defining a title as a property. So basically, whatever the title comes in is a summary. The movie image, the image that I extract out from the property or from the attribute. Updated date and the ratings of the movie, and release year. So it's a little text and the concatenating with the release year whenever it was released, and the ratings of the movie, boom boom boom, and the duration, how long the movie is, and the synopsis, it's a little description of the movie. On each iteration, remember this guy is inside the loop, inside the for loop. Yeah, of course, it's the for loop starts from go. Yeah, this for loop right here. It starts from here, right? So everything is inside the loop. All this code gets executed on each iteration of the loop. And then, so basically, remember that this array item that I showed you in the very beginning. This is where I will be pushing all those objects. So basically, I'm pushing. This array has a push method. I'm pushing those on each iteration. I'm pushing this object into the array. So once all the movie has been parsed, now my array is saturated with, let's say, if it returns 500 movies. That's what's happening. Now, okay, now I have my data so far. So once this code, basically, once I'm in here, everything is good. There's no problem. Means this array is basically now contains huge amount of object, right? Now it has a data. I'm interested to do something with it. I would like to do something with it, right? Good. And to do that something, I have a method called bind item list, and this method bind item list is basically binds all the data into our DOM object. Let's go ahead and look into bind item list object. Method. Sorry for that. All right, here we go. This is very simple. This is not that complicated than before, than the previous method. Okay, so remember, like, I have RSS feed item template, which is right here. Basically, this is this guy right here. Remember this guy? So everything is inside the RSS feed template. This div contains all the children div, blah blah blah. So I'm basically grabbing the reference to that guy, and then also remember, this is I need to have a reference. This is my template also. This is my template controller, and then I'm going to create instance of binding here, and type of binding is a template binding, and which object is my basically template, this image template. This guy right here is my it's a template container, and this is my actual container into which that this item will be pushed one by one. And then this is, remember, this is my array list containing all my data, and I'm just a little checking, making sure, hey, if you have a data, okay, just to make sure, if there is no data, then you will have a problem. And then this is a really cool method. This guy is saying, hey, hey, image container, do you have any attribute, any style attribute already set on you? Yeah, there is, because I said display equals to none. I don't need it. Go ahead and remove, because I have to show them. That's what I'm doing here. And then doing exactly the same thing for my template, removing those, and then basically going over all the items in my array right here in the loop. And then on each iteration, I'm basically calling the render method. This render method basically takes the data and the container, and then of course the container is image container and this data right here. And when you call this render method, because the magic happens and it starts binding all those properties of the array into the DOM object. So that is basically all the code is. That's all it is. That is, even though it looks a little complicated, but it's really not that much. It's very, very simple. Okay, let's go ahead and run a couple example and see how